So hello there, my name's Maitreyabandhu. Here I am in my bedroom. So tomorrow, I think it's tomorrow, you're going to be starting the meditation challenge. I thought I'd just say a little bit about that. So the first thing to say about meditation, it's not like learning to do bookbinding or, five-a-side football. It's not the sort of thing that you can be really good at in a kind of compartment of your life, but be a bit of a nightmare at home, a bad-tempered boss, a person who feels like everyone's putting on them all the time. Meditation is not kind of a little thing you do on the side of your life, that your life just continues just the same. It's not like a skill that you get good at. It's more like a way of starting to notice your mind, first of all. And even that's not as easy as it sounds, because do you see how our mind runs habitually, doesn't it? My mind does and your mind does. So you don't notice that you're getting into negative states of mind always, quite often. You don't notice that you keep on putting yourself in a kind of slightly victim-y place, or in a slightly superior place, or a slightly competitive place, and that you do that habitually and consciously. It's not your fault, it's not anyone's fault usually, it's just how your mind is sort of run. So what meditation is about, first of all, is about starting to notice a kind of patterning you've already got, and starting to notice a bit more, is that a helpful patterning or an unhelpful pattern? Or was it helpful once and is it not helpful anymore? Often enough patterns we've got, they were helpful, even were actually vital at some point, but they're not helping you anymore, they're not serving you anymore, but you haven't noticed that. So meditation is about noticing the patterns you've already got, and then it's about trying to move your mind, not just in meditation, but outside of meditation, into a more useful, fruitful, flourishing pattern. Yeah? Buddhism is saying your life is in your hands. You can actually move it. You're not condemned to repeat yourself. It can feel like that because our patterns are so strong, aren't they? My patterns are really strong and your patterns will be really strong. Well, not strong, they're just habitual. So it's easy to get sort of stuck in them. You find yourself in the same kind of relationship. You find yourself getting into the same sort of trouble with people. What Buddhism is saying, yeah, that's fine, that's true. And you can start to move the ship. You can start to change those patterns. But you only start to change those patterns by starting to notice them. So on this meditation challenge, one of the things that you'll be doing, one of the things I'll be doing, is noticing more clearly what patterns am I in already? And even honouring those patterns, they're not all bad, for instance. It's just that they're probably not completely serving you. So how are you going to change them a bit? How are you going to move them a bit? Now, you won't be able to change them if you're not meditating. Yeah. If you just think, okay, I must remember not to get in a bad mood. I must remember not to get into a kind of blamey thing. I must remember not to do that grumpy thing I always do. I must remember to listen to people more. Whatever it is that you fall into, you just won't have enough awareness to keep that up in your everyday life. What meditation is a kind of space in which we're particularly going to be working on those patternings, yeah, and particularly working on how to work with them. Otherwise, you just wouldn't have enough awareness in your life. Yeah, I wouldn't have, and you wouldn't have. So the main thing about this challenge is actually committing the time to do it. So just keep turning up, even if you don't feel like logging in that morning because you feel in a bad mood, or you perhaps drunk too much last night, or you want to have that duvet moment, whatever it is you want. Just keep turning up. Come to the classes every week. You'll need to do it with other people. It's like anything else, you need the support of other people. And let's really use this time to start to move our life in the direction that we want to go in. And meditation is going to be a big part of that, but not just meditation. So outside of meditation, see if you can start to notice those moments where you think, oh, this is something I always get into. I get into this kind of patterning. I don't have to get into that kind of patterning. Let's try and bring something of the meditation into that moment. Let's say at a business meeting where you're always the one who doesn't speak, or you're always the one that dominates the conversation, or you're always the one to say it's fine, or you're always the one to say it's a trouble, it's a problem. try and see whether you can start to see, look, this is the sort of thing I habitually do. Let me try and bring something of the meditation into that moment. You know, especially if you're getting reactive, if you're getting kind of heated up and a bit sort of, in that mode, see if you can move away from that. See if you can start to bring meditation into that. Yeah? So we're going to be starting tomorrow. Let's really do it. You know that you need to work with your mind. Everyone nowadays knows they need to work with the mind. In the old days when I used to teach meditation, talking about meditation was quite unusual, people didn't talk about it. Everybody nowadays knows you need to do this stuff. It's just difficult to do it, isn't it? It's just difficult to decide to do it. So how about we all just decide to do it, yeah? We're going to do it for these next 3 or 4 weeks. I can't remember how long it is even. But, let's actually give ourselves a really good shot at it. Meditate every morning online. Come along to a class. Start to notice those flashpoints in your life where you need to bring in more awareness to that. You need to start to work out what goes on for you in there, because you're probably not helping yourself and you're probably not helping other people in those moments. And I do the same and you do the same. So let's really have a good go of it for this coming week, yeah? Coming weeks. I think that's probably all you need me to say at the moment. How hard could it be? Yeah, but let's really give it a good go. And I'll be there. I'll be there on Wednesday nights. I'll be seeing you. And let's just keep in contact with each other and let's really do it.